was a teacher. She spent her life in and around Leo Rosam's house. She was completely familiar with music. All of her work has been educative in music, both hands-on teaching. She brought her teaching experience from secondary school teaching Irish, which she did for many years until relatively recently. She brought all that ability and all that knowledge into music as well. But she was doing it systematically, teaching very, very large groups. Like at one point, I think there had 3 different classes going in Coal Island and Tyrone, over in Monaghan, here in Armagh. That's like a kind of an outreach. And like none of this is not, there are small amounts of money paid for these classes, but this was not a financial thing.
Sílim gwilin an abis sin éintach táptach. Má tá aspidini a tá tiltsenach an tám sin a chót don ceol agus do cultúr in san chafrach seo. Gan the Valleys bheithan seo in Arwaka, bheo pulmór an seo.
Sin bí an arm an éhaachtas agus níorú atmosfér ó bhaith a bé, bit a gcónaí Gulfreed roadblocks agus na bit a geirí Gulfig session, bí na staidirí sin agus a tarintach an duine más a car agus i gascailt na gléasaní ceol agus bhí sé deacair go leor.
In the midst of all the mayhem, and people used to sort of criticize, like, why, when there were so many important issues being decided, like why we could be involved in, I could be involved in organising cross-country races or organising concerts, and it really was seen as superfluous, to the greater issues being decided.
He was very much at the top of his game and at the top of the game. Like, he won all the scholarships, he won all the things, he was selling his paintings, everything was going very well. And there was some point in the early 70s where there was definitely an impression that some of the art establishment and critics in Dublin who took bad reaction to his political involvement as well, and it felt that there was some sort of a backlash against what he was doing.
At a certain point, and I think I can almost tie it down to about 1973, all of that stopped, and I suddenly found myself feeling absolutely, totally alienated from the South, and I never really seriously exhibited in the South after that.
Tá an irisin dini a mas na bradastúni agus na nílseoirí a bhfuil samacho in Obersegus agus a tá in an community nationachas. So tá sin éintach sumúil héan sé trachna an seoran níl doubt a béfú sin Dan Vallely an seo agus tá sé obair díach an rud go bhhaileis a dhéanamh achan seachtain agus go bhhaileis a chur ar an campus. So go éirí leis.
No, táid bhacha measar beg agus ag an am sin níró alíontóir lean am seir bí in a chónaíon. Anis tá trúr na cethir tá gáil don alíontóireacht go lean am seir agus galar é go maiid leis. As dóthaigh gur beidir gur eisceach muid go cumáilíonn fa sin.
The social and political background of where they've been living undoubtedly has had a huge role to play in all the things that they've been involved in. I think that it can't only be that, I think the art and music they have to have an existence outside of that as well. There is a purely artistic part to all of it, and there's a need to be painting, a need to be playing music that's not connected to anything else of a social or political nature.